Tuesday. This is the news preview segment here on Pan-African Television. This time, the panelists delay a lot, so the show oftentimes doesn't start on time. We'll do something about it as we progress. But between a rock and a hard place, African position on the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and Nkrumah's dam project wasting away at Dekbo. It's time for MPP to break the 8th Stevening team, the crying MP. Fuel prices to hit 9 Ghana cedis per litre soon. These are the topics. You remember most something is here. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
It's been a while.
Oh yes, it has
been a while. I've not seen you the whole of this year.
Oh no, I think we've met this year.
We've met,
yeah, I think once or twice. Yes.
I see.
But you know the nature of being a national organizer. You have to do a lot of going up and down within the regions and the constituencies. So if you don't see me here, it means that I'm maybe in one of the regions or constituencies trying to put the CDP together for us to be a formidable force come 2024. So Kwame, it's not my doing. The least opportunity I have around here to also propagate the good news.
How's your party doing, by the way?
Well, not bad. Of course, we have some serious internal challenges which we are resolving with the national leadership together with our committed central committee members. We are resolving. So very soon, you will hear the CBP coming out with timelines for reorganization from electoral areas to polling stations to the regional level. Then I can bet you the MPP is not going to have it easy come 2024 because the force we are trying to build at the base is not going to be a joke.
Well, let's hope that things work out the way you want them.
It has to, Kwame. This time it has to. It has to.
I shudder to think, but I believe that beyond the fact that there's no unity within your party, it's also the fact that there's no real commitment.
Well,
because it appears that you have leaders in your party who are not advancing the cause of the tenets of your ideology, and for me that's a bigger challenge. I don't know if you subscribe to that, and that's the reality.
I don't fully subscribe to that, but I know there are few individuals who at a point in time you could see that their ideological background is very shaky. But as the saying goes, if he be a mensa,
no, it's not about mensa. You see that cliche is what is breaking your party.
No, you see, but you can't have perfect individuals.
Nobody's saying,
or people who are level-headed, all across board.
No, but
come with me, you have some few bad nuts in there.
If you have a purpose,
yeah,
and you are fighting to achieve something,
yes,
I shall like to think that expected end should be, of primary importance as opposed to your personal.
Precisely, but it will surprise you to know in any organization that is how it goes. You will see that this is the aim and this is the goal. Everybody is ascribing to it, but you have few individuals, even knowing that this is the true way to go, they'll still oppose it.
Yeah, but those individuals may not necessarily be at the helm of affairs.
Precisely,
those individuals may, for instance, be just maybe followers who will depart a little bit, but I'm talking about leadership.
No, but at a point
where you find your chairperson, for instance, making arguments in support of, for instance, the MPP. I'm not saying that when the government does something right.
You see, so all those arguments that maybe she has made in the past in support of the MPP, it's her own individual idea.
Yeah, but
not coming from the CPP.
Yeah, but she is.
And there are a number of occasions we've come to counter what the chairperson has said to the general secretary.
But she's the primus inter pares when it comes to the political affairs of your party.
In the CPP,
that is what it is.
Well, but that is what I'm telling you, that even though she might be the chairperson, whatever positions that she has done or she has made on behalf of the CPP, it's not coming from the CPP. Yes, she did it on her personal account.
I agree with you.
And we have countered it through a lot of releases from the general secretary.
I agree with you. I want to join the CPP, for instance.
Precisely.
Okay? I am a socialist. I believe in socialism.
Precisely.
I believe in ideals of socialism.
Yes.
Okay? And then I'm seeking to join CPP. Then you find that the chairperson, because every political party, the chairperson is the leader of the political party at that material moment. The chairperson advances arguments which are contrary to the ideological underpinnings of your political party.
Precisely.
Why should I even join? Because then the point is that then I'd rather go and join NDC or MPP.
It will also
but you understand what I'm saying?
I understand, but it's unfortunate for that person to judge only one person in the CPP, because you have several people speaking.
To the extent,
you have Justice Heneku, which are rich in ideological.
To the extent that the party elected such an individual to lead the party speaks volumes about what the party believes in. Because that's what it is.
I disagree with that.
No, but how the person then rise through the ranks?
It will be very difficult for members then to judge the ideological richness of all the candidates.
But you don't know your people.
No, I'm telling you, it is very difficult because I remember there was a program by Pan-African TV to have a debate, but most of the candidates didn't turn out. I don't know if you could remember.
Yeah.
It was being sponsored by Uncle Kwesi, so that we will also know and understand who our candidates are, what they stand for. Unfortunately, most of the candidates dodged. Some of them made themselves available for the debate. And it is true. So looking forward, these are things we are also taking note of. That before somebody will rise to that level, the person should have a serious understanding of improvement. So during the next step, when
would you therefore admit, in all honesty and that you guys failed?
No, not we failed, because then we were not in power. Maybe the mechanism we put in place to vet our national leaders.
Who put the mechanism in place? That's what I'm saying. You failed.
No. I mean, you see, the mechanism being put in place was maybe a little bit faulty. Maybe a lot of emphasis was not laid on ideological richness.
Who puts the
there was an IOC.
Exactly. So I'm saying that perhaps
there was a lack somewhere.
An admission.
So moving forward, these are serious notes that we've taken.
Yeah.
That even somebody to qualify as constituency executive, regional executive, national, you have to be sound ideologically. You have to go through what we call ideological training for about 6 months for you to be sound. Then you can stand anywhere and debate the NDC and the NPP based on socialist principles.
Because where we are now, I think that it is rife. And I don't mind that Dr. Nawani is here. He may disagree with me, all he may. But the point is that now where we are, we need a strong third.
Precisely.
But the CPP and the other political parties are not presenting themselves as an alternative to the duopoly. And that is why, which is why I am asking these questions. It's not table for our conversation this morning.
People are really yearning for the conversation.
It's not table. And the young people, and you have not made it so attractive to the young people such that, they would want to believe clearly in what the CPP stands for, and that the CPP should be that alternative to the duopoly. Which is why I'm asking all these questions.
Of course, I understand. And it's a good call, because it's not only coming from you. All over the country, when you go around, they tell you, look, we need an alternative to the NDC, the NPP. And people feel that it is a CPP, but they want to see more from us. I agree that maybe from the past years, what we have been doing has not been able to touch the hearts of Ghanaians or even the youth coming up. And that is why we national leaders are tasked to come up with programs that will tailor for the youth. We'll come up with programs that Ghanaians will see that no, the CPP is now right.
Can you realign the thinking patterns of the young people in your party to believe in the cause and not to believe in, for instance, money? Because it is precisely the case, which is why some members of your within your rank and file of your party pander to the whims and caprices of political parties in office, because they do not have money to run the affairs of your party. Can you get to a point where people will believe in the cause and the ideology as opposed to believing in money?
Yes. In fact, we've gotten there where we have a lot of young people, very determined young people. In fact, I must praise them. The National Youth League.
You can mention names.
Yes, I can mention names. I can even start with the youth leader, Kofi Akwa, Beneza Tete, Eugene Kokoy.
They are not taking kickbacks and bribes.
They are not. They are very committed to the cause. They are very committed to the cause, Dockers. There are several young people who have now come on board. Hitherto, they will tell you CPP is an old people's party. How come a young person like myself will become a national organizer? It means there's a trend which is changing, where the youth of this country are realizing that no, enough of the NDC, the NPP, we need to get another alternative to them. And I'm happy to announce that a lot of the youth within the tertiary institutions, we have what we call test chats. And I must praise the National Youth Organizer and the Youth League for ensuring that all the major institutions that we have in this country, we are trying to put the test chat together for it to also be very formidable, just like the TIN and the TESCON. So, Kwame, there are programs being lined up to ensure that the youth are in tandem with the CPP. Hitherto, they feel it's an old people's party. Now we are making it a youthful party, where most of our leaders in a few years to come, according to plan, will be the youth. So, in other words, Kwame, this is going to be your party, a youthful party, the party for the youth, and which you, Kwame, should subscribe to. As a socialist, it's going to be a socialist, youth-oriented party.
I would like to see some positive-minded people in there before.
No, but you are also positive. Immediately, you also come in there. People say, hey, Kwame is in there. I have to also get there.
I mean,
Kwame, in fact, you don't know how great you are.
Hey.
Just you being, oh yes, just you also being there. You know the kind of young people that you inspire in this country.
The man is young me to join
you have no idea the people you inspire sitting here.
Really?
I'm telling you, just make that positive move by picking the card of the CPP.
Okay, let's see
your followers.
Let's see how powerful I am. Let's start by this, okay? Put your number out. If you are able to get 10 people, 10 young people call you,
okay,
that they want to join the CPP.
But is it 10 is too small?
No. There's always the basis for something.
Okay.
Okay? I want to build a foundation.
That's right.
If we're able to get 10 positive-minded young people call you,
that's right.
That they want to join CPP by reason of your request.
That's right.
Of me.
Oh yes.
Then I will join CPP.
Oh, then you're going to get hundreds. You're going to get hundreds.
Put your number out.
054 34 09234.
Again.
I'll take it again. 054 34 09234.
Okay, let's see how powerful I am.
Tell me, the guy is not there. Today, you will not even make me sleep. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, you wait and see. We are all here. As we move on with the show, you will see the calls coming in.
You are not giving me.
This is a party for the youth, and with the youth of this country, we have to take charge.
I said, if you receive 10 calls,
10 is an understatement.
10.
Not even say 100 of 150.
Young, positive-minded, endearing young people. Place a call to you.
Hey, Kwame, look.
That upon the request of Kwame, I don't know how do I
pick the phone. This is it's an unknown number. Pick. It's an unknown number.
Pick. I'm asking. No. Pick.
No, before it. I'm saying
people.
No, I want to tell you right now because you know what?
Let's take this as one.
You know, some time ago I was on this show and Kwame made me put my number out. That day I couldn't sleep.
Oh no.
I had calls upon calls.
This is a course. I'm saying that if you want to build a third force, pick.
Number two.
No. Pick. Number two. You didn't give me the phone.
Number two.
Hold on, give me the phone.
I can't. No.
Pick the
number is not saved. It was saved. You will see.
I said pick the call.
The number is not saved.
Pick the call.
You want to pick.
Put on loudspeaker.
Hello. The person has.
No, you see, the guy is on.
This is another different number.
Pick.
Hello.
I want to see something.
Yeah. Hello.
Put on loudspeaker.
Good morning.
Put on loudspeaker. Come, give it to me. Give me the phone. Put on loudspeaker.
I'm coming. I'll do that.
Put on loudspeaker.
There's somebody who is also calling in.
Oh, we remember.
I'm telling you.
Put on loudspeaker.
Yes. You are calling from Sunyane. Okay, you speak to the person. You speak to the person.
How do you put it on loudspeaker?
That's what because another call is incoming.
Hold on, I'm coming.
I told you. You listen to the fellow. He says he's calling from Sunyane.
But
he's mentioned his name.
No, but he's calling. Okay, so that's
somebody. Listen.
Hold on. Hello. Hi.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm calling from Tamale.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just like your bet here, Bamboo. I'm one of the callers. I'm one of the callers.
We are not your authority. We know the work you've done on the ground.
Wow. So you want to join the CPP?
Why not?
Oh, yes. If you join CPP today, I will promise you to take the
Hey, yeah. Kwame.
I get goosebumps.
You directing yourself.
In fact, we are tired with this 2.5.
Thank you, my brother. And that is the one.
Let's talk after the morning show.
Let's talk. Today you will not make me sleep, Kwame. It has happened before, and you will not make me sleep.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you the next caller? Hello?
I'm the next caller. Yes, go, let's go.
Hey, are you joining the CPP?
I'm joining I want Kwame to join and I'll follow him.
Okay, let's talk after the morning show.
This is the revolution we are talking about. Not with guns and cutlasses, but the revolution of the mind.
But
when young people in this country are going to rise against the duopoly.
I'm a little shocked.
Even though I'm in the NDC, honestly speaking, I support the emergence of a third force. Yes. What? We need a third force to stabilize the democratic system that we have.
Okay, you want to say something?
Please go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hello? Oh, it has cut. Another call is coming in. Kwame, look, I said today, I don't know. I can't pick my calls because.
Okay.
But viewers, please bear with me. After the show, I will make sure I will return each and every call.
Nice.
This is for Ghana, and the destiny of this country is in our hands. And we make sure that the duopoly of the NDC and the NPP is no more come 2024.
Dr. Nawani has made a very important point. You see, and oftentimes I say this, that why do we vote? And I've asked this sort of like an open question. Why do we vote, right? Why do we vote for the NDC, for instance? Why do we vote for the NPP? Is it because of the fact that we grew into those political parties, or we grew to like those political parties, or that we like their policies and ideologies? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
so people vote for varied reasons. I have voted for President Kufuor before.
Yeah, okay.
I voted for President Tamils.
Okay.
I voted for President Mahama. I've not voted for Kufuor before. Personally, I don't like him. So I've never voted for him before. Okay? So I have at least tried to vote for the NDC and the MPP at some point. When I find that whatever they are presenting is something that finds expression with what I believe in, I will vote for them. I don't... Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I get
So why don't we get to the point where if, for instance, Zirimamo became the flag bearer of the CPP, okay? And then he presented himself as somebody who could transform the fortunes of the people. Because oftentimes we fight, but the fight that we are fighting is not for the agent, it's for posterity.
Yeah.
So if we find that somebody can, at this material moment, deal with the fundamental, challenges confronting the people, or teething challenges confronting the people, why don't we give that person a chance? Why do we vote by reason of the fact that I am an Ashanti, for instance, so I'll vote for the MPP. I'm from the Volta region, so I'll vote for the NDC. I am from the northern region, divided into two. Some will vote for the NDC, some will vote for the MPP. I'm from central and western, which always fluctuates. And I like the way the central region and western region
region, yeah.
You cannot make that place your World Bank.
No.
Because that one, in the central region and in the western region, the votes fluctuate.
Yes.
At one point, they are voting for the NDC. At another point, they are voting for the MPP. So that's the difference. But the point is that if CPP has managed to win a seat in the central region, then there's a possibility that if things were done properly, they may be able to win a lot of seats. And I think they should start from there. That they are going to fail, they're not going to even fight over the presidential, for instance, right? But they should make sure that they have fair representation in parliament. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
So that you will begin to...
They've got to start from somewhere.
Absolutely, start from somewhere. But the over-reliance on, for instance, wanting to contest for the presidency and things like that, we should rather focus our attention on the, parliament, because that is where you represent the people.
Yeah.
And that is where your voices can be heard.
And that is why the elections of DCs, etc., will have played a very, very big role in bringing up this third force, where a third force can even concentrate that, no, I'm going to win in this district and manage the district differently from the way even the national level is being managed. And when they get results, they use the results of the district to further, promote their party. That look, in this district, CPP managed it, for example, and this is what we've been able to do. We've been able to reduce their dependence on water, a lack of water, the sanitation situation has improved, etc. And use it, to advance their cause at the national level. So we should go back to the drawing board. We should go back to this decentralization.
Yeah.
Policy where the DCs will be elected,
where
somebody can be elected who is not from any of these two major parties. Now the problem is that this so-called winner takes all principle is further destroying our democracy. Where I know that CPP will not win. Yes. So if I really want something within the next 4 or 8 years, then I better look somewhere else and join.
Right.
Either I join the NDC or I join the MPP. But that should not be the case.
Exactly.
That should not be the case. Indeed, we have to. I believe that Ghanaians should consciously let a third force appear. There's the need now for a third force. Honestly speaking, I'm LDC, but I believe that there's the need for a third force to stabilize.
To have the third force.
The economy.
And Doc uses a word. Doc is saying to stabilize.
Precisely.
Because the reason why sometimes I feel that the voting population are taken for granted is because they know, both political parties know for certain. Okay, that if the NDC goes for 8 years, the next 8 years I'm coming. So, I can drink some water and wait. for when and which is why and which is why they spend the public's the state's money without recourse to conscience. Because they will come 8 years, first 4 years, the next 4 years is just about looting. And it's a reality. We know people who used to come on my morning show. Listen, I made this point on the show. Honorable, I'm not saying that when you're into politics you should make money, okay? Because that's your profession. You should at least make an income. But to the point where within a period of, let's say, 3-4 years, you have managed, when you used to drive an Ultima that we used to push, okay? You've managed to buy a Range Rover. Do you know how much a Range Rover costs in this country? You bought a house, okay? You are holidaying in Dubai and living extravagant lifestyle and things like that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it begs the question as to whether or not politics, for instance, is the way to go for a lot of young people.
Yeah.
And so the stability that you are talking about for me is very crucial because that will be the decider.
Yes.
That will be the decider.
Exactly.
You're right, Kwame.
But we didn't get 10 calls, so I'm not joining.
I've been counting. 22 so far.
My clock is here. You have been looking at my phone.
Okay, let's go to 50.
I think you get more than 100. Coming from you, Kwame, you will see what happens.
Anyway,
you see, so Kwame, let me add something. Yes, what Doc said, precisely the strategy that we need to build a parliamentary strength. So analysis has been made from 1960, going through all the election results, trying to pinpoint where traditionally the CPP is strong, areas where the advantages, areas where the current MPs are weak. So we have looked at all this analysis. And Kwame, I can confidently tell you that come 2024, this parliament will not see less than 15 CPP MPs. I'm telling you. And the presidential elections too. Don't be surprised because the last election, in the last election, over 5 million people didn't vote. Ask yourself, why?
Listen, I agree with you.
5 million people.
You see, I'm saying that a child must learn first to crawl before it walks, before it runs.
Yes.
Okay?
Understood.
I am saying that I am not, by any stretch of my thinking, downplaying the relevance and the upset that CPP could cause. I'm not downplaying that at all.
Very well.
However, the point I'm making is that we need to start from somewhere. First of all, let's have a proper representation in Parliament,
which we are going to have. So
for instance, the former MP, who is literally just misbehaving, because because he could have been the pivot around which our democracy would have advanced.
So from immediately the CPP comes in there, then you should know that you have a very authentic parliament.
That's what I'm saying.
Because that's what I'm saying. Because no matter the arguments, those 15 people, which inshallah I know we are going to get, they are going to be the decider. And we are going to make sure it's not going to be based on friendship or anything. It's going to be in the interest of the country. Whatever is in the interest of Ghana, that is where they will go. So Kwame, be rest assured.
Let me ask this question.
It will be done.
I'm going to activate the phone line. Guys, activate the phone lines for me. Oh, it's not working? Why? Where's my speaker? Why? Okay, anyway. Listen, send Yilmamwe a text right now, okay? Via his number. Do we need CPP? Not, and I hate this when they say all the small political parties must come together. CPP at one point was a party, an organized political party.
Formidable party.
Yes. PNC, at some point too, was a formidable.
We are the same people.
So I don't mind. All I'm saying is that do you need the CPP or the PNC? It should be one of them.
In fact, we are one people.
So do you need the CPP to be the third force in this country, or you think that we need to? The youth must come together and set up their own political party and build it up.
Which the CPP is representing now.
Okay. So Kwame, send the messages to
no problem. I promise to the viewers. In 2024, if the CPP doesn't win the election, I can assure you no party will win the election in the first round. That's mark it down and mark today's date down, Kwame.
It is when the race is called that a dichotomy. Hold on.
I have said mine.
I know.
And I said mark today's date down.
I am saying that it is when the race is called
that's why
that the dichotomy is drawn between a horse and an ass.
No, because we need to get
you need to set
our presidential base.
Goals that are achievable.
That are achievable. We can't just simply say
It's achievable.
the CPP is a formidable party. However, you must start from somewhere. That's
I agree. So when we get the parliamentary strength, and let's imagine we get about 15%. Who has won the election? Nobody has won the election.
No, that's a fact.
Yes,
that's a fact.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a fact. Yes, and that's
even if you even get 8% or 5%, nobody's winning the election.
That's doable.
Because the difference is
in Ghana,
yes.
If you're able to get 5%, that is very big.
Precisely.
Dr. Nawani, the reason why we are here, perhaps, is also because most people do not understand the functions of Parliament and the role that it plays. So people think that, I don't know what they think of parliamentarians. Because if we did that, then perhaps we would have had CPP in there somewhere. If you understood what parliamentary system stands for and the role of parliamentarians, perhaps we would have had different political parties, representing the people. Because it's about representation.
Yeah.
It's about somebody who can best articulate your concerns. Somebody who understands your issues and will be able to bring same. But people think that being a parliamentarian, you go and lobby and then you get contract. And so they think that if they don't vote for an NDC person or an NPP person, they will not have development. And so they take away the job that is supposed to be done by the DCs and the MCs and things like that, and they hang them around the necks of the MPs. Which is why we are where we are. And we are going to be stagnated for a while if we do not move away from this primeval, rigid mental set that we have relative to our political discourse. And I'm being honest about
That's
it.
right.
If we want to see development, we must first change the way we think. We must change our perception about the political, enterprise in which we find ourselves. And that is the only way. That's the only way.
Politics in Ghana, parliamentary elections now have become very expensive. And that is one thing. The ordinary Ghanaians should look at this. So look, it is not about who gives me the goodies or the t-shirts.
Yeah.
We had very formidable candidates in some constituencies. Yeah. We went in there, we did all what we could, but we couldn't withstand the money power.
Yes. The lioness is here.
We couldn't.
The lioness is here.
You understand? So we everybody as a country should look at that.
Let me introduce the lioness.
I'm the lion. That's one of my nicknames.
She's the lioness.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ellen Amadeko, incoming national women's organizer for the MPP. Let me tell you,
lioness.
If you don't win, hey, Amadeko. They've seen you. They started calling you. You are glowing, pal.
Is that so?
Put your dimple. Wow.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, brother.
As if she won't argue.
So, that's what the argument it is strong. Let me say good morning to my women organizers. I keep on saying that I get a lot of feedback when I come here.
Yeah.
From the 5 northern regions.
I'm humble.
And then my 2 Bono regions and Ahafo.
Wow.
That's where I come from. So, good morning to.
When you say this, I get goosebumps.
Oh, yes. I get excellent feedback.
Wow.
So, well done, and good morning to all of them. As you know, we are gearing up. I think from today, we are starting with the electoral coordinators.
Oh, okay.
From today.
Okay.
And I would plead that as much as possible, all the drama that happened in the polling station elections, we should start cutting it down and getting things done. Please, if you have been tasked to supervise an election in the NPP, it is your job to follow the rules and the regulations.
I'm told some of them are going to court.
People will simply not agree if you do not follow the rules and the regulations. It's as simple as that.
I'm told some are going to court.
Oh yes, a lot of people are in court. And it is not good for the party. Honestly,
but are they allowed to go to court without exhausting the due
For
process?
some of us, we feel that they should go through the due processes. But if the person feels pained to a certain point, they also have the right to go to court, and that means they are going to pull back the progress and of the party in those constituencies,
Ellen,
and it's not a happy thing.
Ellen, why do we have to get to the point where people lose confidence in the process? You understand what I'm saying? Because it's a political party. Political party has its own structures. It operates within the remit of those structures. So the only reason why somebody will go to court is because the person feels slighted.
Of course.
And the person feels that the structures which have been put in place is serving a select few and not everybody else.
It is as you said, it's a process.
Yes, please.
We are developing our processes. So you do not expect 100% compliance rates.
Yes.
That is why I keep on saying that as much as I agree that there are issues, it's when you look at it, those without issues are more than those with issues. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't solve it. And that is why I'm insisting that if you have been tasked to supervise an election, there are written down rules. The mafia is too much. There are some of them, the things that they are mafia, and you go and look at it like, I mean, seriously.
Useless mafia.
Because if you do this, and you think you are getting your people in there, or people you prefer in there, people have gone for elections in this country where their own wives didn't vote for them.
Yeah, true.
So it doesn't matter who you bring into the polling station. If the people say they don't want you, it can be your child. It can be your wife. They'll still vote against you.
Yeah.
So we should allow the process to go through. And then you talk to the people, you explain to them. If you are an incumbent and you haven't done what you're supposed to do, you go and explain to them why you haven't done it. And if they are so inclined, they'll vote for you. But this business of, taking people off when they are supposed to be there, sometimes the votes are being held in the middle of the night. Sometimes people don't even know. People who are supposed to be contestants do not even know that the elections are going on. And it's, what sort of, with all due respect, useless mafia is that? Because the people you bring in, if it is through influence, such people that you have been able to influence to bring in, you think somebody else with more money than you can't influence them?
True. I get your point. Charlie, you remember it appears if you be a mensa woman, it's true.
So I beg them. We are going on the next stage. That is the electoral coordinators, area coordinators. We shouldn't see these things. After this, then we are going for the constituency, then the regional, then the national.
Okay.
So we should make this thing peaceful and as fast as possible, so that by the end of July we are done, and then we can move on.
Dr. Anane, greet, and let's proceed. I know I love the greeting. I love the greeting. Yes, that's the word. If you're
That's right. Yeah. Pan-African.
Yeah.
Right.
We are good. Are we good?
That was okay.
Look, this, I don't know. I think we need to start on this fuel prices thing. And with respect, Elena Madeko, I know you just walked in, but let me start with you on that. There are reports, and indeed this morning on my way to the office, I was listening to the head of pricing at NPA. Very fantastic gentleman. And gave such eloquent explanations about how things are done relative to the pricing. Of course, we do know the mechanisms which defines or dictates, the pricing system in Ghana. But the question is whether or not, even though on the world market, prices have gone up, price of crude and things like that have gone up, in Ghana, we couldn't have done something about it. And the question is predicated on the fact that if you look at the fuel that we buy, the components which make up the final price which we pay for, crude, are enormous, and they have a lot of taxes. A lot of taxes have taken over the price mechanism here in Ghana. Question is, why don't we take some of those taxes off, so that at least the prices will plummet a little bit, and then, we will take the burden off the heads of consumers, particularly when we do know that once the prices begin to hike, it has attending consequences or attending increment in, the fares that we pay in this country as well, which is central to everything.
Well, I totally agree that something has to be done on this fuel prices matter. And it looks like the gentleman you listened to, I also listened to him. And even though the past few days, I think the prices have gone down a bit. But he was telling us that would be reflected in the next window, whether it stays consistent or not. So it means that the world fuel prices, for me, I don't think they are going to be stabilized anytime soon. And with how things are going, it might be stable for a day or two. But every day something new comes up and it shoots up. I think we should start bracing ourselves that we are going to be paying a lot more for our fuel. That's cleared out of the way. About government subsidizing and taking off some of the taxes and making sure that we are a bit cushioned. The question that you have to ask is how much? How much is government going to subsidize? And as it goes higher, and we are all predicting it to go higher, to what percentage can government subsidize? And after the subsidy, are we going to pay for it later on? These are all questions that we should be asking ourselves. But I do agree totally that definitely something has to be done about the prices in terms of cushioning. Now, how is it going to be done? Looking at our present economic situation that we find ourselves, I don't envy government and those in charge of dealing with this in any way, because it's a tough decision, especially when nothing is constant. Nothing is constant in this business. And it looks like world situations are pushing things out of reach. I have a very finicky feeling. People are mentioning that we are going to be paying 9 cedis very soon. Listening to is it COPEC?
Yeah, COPEC, yeah.
They are looking at 12 cedis.
Yep.
They are looking at 12 cedis. Meaning if the prices go up, it's still going to, So let's even assume that government takes off the 2 cedis. Assuming it is at 12 cedis and government decides that, look, let me take 2 cedis off. Is 10 cedis good enough? 10 cedis per liter. Assuming government even takes off 5 cedis. I'm looking at the whole thing, the taxes. Let's assume government say per liter, I'll take off 5 cedis. We'll think about paying for it later. Even if it's 12 cedis and you take off 5 cedis, that's how much? You're talking about what, 8 cedis? It's still high. And that is what I think we should all start getting our thought processes and getting ourselves used to. With things happening in the world, as for the prices, it will go high. The quantum and how much it will hit, we don't know. But definitely, as I said, I agree that some cushioning have to be done. And then when the cushioning is done, then we all know that somebody has to pay for the subsidy too. And we will be the ones to pay for it. Government is not in a good place now. I can honestly say in relation to this fuel matter. And as I said,
but on the most serious, and in all honesty and in all
I don't
certainty,
feel very happy for those who are doing this.
You see, they say, I think it's a cliche that desperate situations or something like that creates good leaders, and then bad leaders create bad situations. The point for me is that how do we get to the point where now we are so broke to the point that we cannot even subsidize some of these things?
But you've never subsidized, and you've over the years, on the past 2-3 years, things have not gone well for any country in this world.
Why then?
So you do not assume. Let me finish.
Yes.
You do not assume that the country has gone so broke to the extent that it cannot subsidize. This is just one part. This is just one section of the economy, one part of our society. We are other parts of the economy are also going on, and they all need the money. And the taxes that we pay are used for all these items. As I said, there has to be a juggling affair somewhere. But you do not say that as if to say this whole crisis suddenly just hit us. We are coming from one. And just as we are getting out, somebody decides to sit somewhere and misbehave and put all of us in this trouble. Government has to find a way. That is why you are voted into office. And as you are voted into office, force majeure happens. As you go along, things happen to you.
One of the things,
so government has to find an innovative way of making sure that we are both cushioned and we still keep our economy going.
One of the things which upsets me is the fact that we get only 18% of what the oil that we
then let me upset you more.
18%.
Let me upset you more.
18%.
We get only 5% averagely of all our mineral resources.
No, I get it. I get it. So the point is that at this stage, because when I was listening to the analysis, I was going berserk because I'm thinking, okay, so we get only 18% from the crude.
Yes, and you get 5% from all the gold and diamond.
And then according to the gentleman, I think we consume about 96,000 barrels of crude, various types a day. 100 and something thousand. No, wait, whatever. But there's a gap of some 50,000. Yes. Some 50,000 barrels.
Why are we not refining?
Well, some 50,000 barrels, that we're supposed to consume.
Why are we not refining?
Yeah, but that's the whole. But what is Thor? What has become of Thor?
Of course, is Thor still working?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point. So that is the question. That no matter the conversation that we have, and Ellen, with respect to you, it comes down to the management of the economy because
it comes down from what agreements we have signed all these years in relation to our mineral resources, all these years. So it's just not the past 5 years, it's the past 30 years, the past 40 years. How can you give a concession to somebody? And it's the agreements we signed, and practically everything the person takes away, you have just 5%. While Botswana gets 50%.
It's madness.
What happened? So as much as I would love to put all the blame on the current government, because it is the current government that is in power, it is an inheritance of everything we've done to ourselves as Ghanaians.
Yeah, but when this administration came, they created the impression that they were going to deal with all previous contracts which have been entered into.
Unfortunately, you know the rules. Contracts that have already been entered into. Yeah. How do you abrogate it without also going through all the judgment debt issues that we are having?
Yeah, but they were willing to abrogate one of such. The one that took Philip Addison to Dubai. What's the contract? The energy.
And how did it end us? How did it end us?
The one that took Philip Addison and
how did it end?
I've forgotten the name.
Good. Whatever it is, how did it end?
No.
It was a power.
When you already have agreements that have been signed and it's into force, abrogating it, we all know the history and what happens. Are we still prepared to put in money?
But you can renegotiate.
Well, when the time is up, sometimes when the leases are up, it is that we should look at the renegotiations. But until there are, some of the agreements are so ironclad to the extent that until the 40 years or the 50 years or the 90 years is over, there's nothing you can do about it. And that's the situation we find ourselves. So we need to get innovative.
Fellow Ghanaians, this is the situation in which we find ourselves. And Ellen has been very blunt about the situation. No mention of words here on the show. The truth is that we are in a quagmire.
And we have to find very innovative ways of getting ourselves out.
Absolutely. How are we going to deal with that quagmire? Otherwise, we are going to be strangled by the labyrinth in which we are, economically, socially, physically. But you see, somebody said something yesterday. In fact, I was watching some series. Okay, and Dr. Anane, I'm coming to you. The person said that when people are hungry, okay, they don't care what they do for survival. Now, all of these things tunnels down to one thing: survival. Because the person who is going to the pump to buy fuel does not care about a contract which has been signed between government and whoever, for which reason we are only getting about 18% of our production. Okay? The person who's going to buy the pump or the fuel does not care about Ukraine-Russia crisis, even though, of course, there's global economic challenges. But we don't really care about. All we care about is we voted for somebody who promised emphatically that he was going to do everything in his power to reduce the price of fuel at the time when it was around 3 point something. So clearly, there's a certain responsibility. How do we circumvent this? How did we get here? How can we find a way such that the person who sells tomatoes in Abobulushi will not wake up one day saying that I'm unable to raise capital to go and buy tomatoes from Burkina Faso because of the increment, in crude? How do we surmount this bottleneck? The man said. Dr. Amani?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
You're with me.
I'm with you.
It's not that easy. The issue is that it appears he that is not fear no fall. This is what has happened to Ghana. Even before this war started between the Russians and the Ukrainians were already going down. We had already been diagnosed as having an unsustainable economy, and we've been diagnosed as people high spending economy that if we continued in that line, we're definitely not going to go anywhere. That was before the war. So we had our CD already coming down and causing the price to go up. We had all other factors. We were broke. The economy was broke before this war. And before the COVID, some of us had even warned that things were not going to be good for us if we continue to spend the way we're spending. And when this COVID money came in, I don't know the type of interpretation that we gave to the COVID money, as if it was free money. We used the opportunity to take the money left and right. Money coming from World Bank, money coming from so many different sources of money. We used the stabilization money, which today it would have assisted us. We just went in for it. They brought it to Parliament, $200 million. It was inside. It was inside. It was left there by the Mahama government for such purposes like we have found ourselves today. We used it that, oh, COVID has come, let's go for the stabilization fund. They brought it. At that time, their numbers were 169. In Parliament, were 105 or 6. In Parliament, were 106 in Parliament. Oh, they just ran over us and used the money. And today, we are not really facing the situation that, I would say that we don't have 100% control over what is happening. Why am I saying so? The COVID situation has gone down. It affects on the economy. We all saw it, but obviously the economy was beginning to pick up. It was obvious that if not for these loans that we took and did not use it for all the good purposes that it was intended, because there was even one time that this loan was supposed to be used to open a bank. And yet people want to talk as if the loan was, it was just to save lives, But there was some, I don't know what has happened to that bank, whether it ever came to being or not. But the loan was supposed to be used to open a bank. And so we now find ourselves where now this war is taking place, and the war between Russia and Ukraine far away, but its ripple effect on the Ghana economy is clear. The fuel price, I understand that the export price that is about 100 today is even going to double. And that they are predicted to get $183 per barrel. And after that, it's even going to go further up if this war continues the way it is going. And let us not think, you see, sometimes we think that Russia is a small country, that we can just, manage them anyhow. The size of Russia is bigger than Africa. Russia is bigger than the whole of Africa put together. That is the size of Russia. And they are the one leading producer of wheat, except that they eat some of the wheat that they produce. So the export, the world leading exporter of wheat is Canada. But the world leading producer of wheat is Russia. And that will give you the rest of the picture. That the price of wheat is going to go up. And when price of wheat goes up, all other food prices go up with it. Corn, maize, water, cassava, it goes up with it because it means that there's shortage of what? There's shortage of food in the world. When the price of wheat goes up, that is the indication that there's food shortage in this world, and so all other type of food, the price start moving up, and so we expect the price of food items will move up, and that is why inflation is moving up. And it is said that inflation is moving up because of the price of food. In Ghana here, it is now about 15.7%. We have got the fuel prices, it's around 8 now, but I'm telling you that even they say by tomorrow. Yes, by tomorrow it could even get to 9 or 10. And these are now the world issues. America is trying to bring in their buffer stock, but that is for Americans. Where is our buffer stock? We don't have the buffer stock. We have used even our stabilization fund in the fight against COVID. So that stabilization fund is not there. The only thing that we can do now is about the taxes. That is the only thing left, because we don't have the stabilization fund. The export price, we don't control it because of the war. Nobody controls it. We only have the tax component to work with. And for a government that is broke, like the MPP government, a government that has most fish have all downgraded it. I think that it's a hard time that this government accepted the conditions that it finds itself. It has to first, see, when you are sick and you don't accept your diagnosis, let's say you have got hypertension, and you don't accept that, no, I'm hypertensive, then you have a big problem. Because at any particular time, your situation could deteriorate and to get to a certain stage where even the drugs will not work for you. This is where Ghana finds itself now. The problem that we have in Ghana now is that our leaders are not accepting that the economy is very bad. Our leaders are not accepting that the direction that they took us to has not worked. Our leaders are not accepting that planting for food and jobs did not work. Our leaders are not accepting that one nation, one factory did not work. Our leaders are not accepting that one village, one dam did not work. Our leaders are not accepting that NAPCO is a waste of money. That whole policy, it was all a waste of money. It was not real jobs that was created. Our leaders will not accept that even the master loans that they gave out, it was all given to the wrong people, and the people, as I speak now, they find it very difficult to pay back the loans. Our leaders are not accepting that even the elections that, they claim they won. The amount of money that was spent to win that elections is not worth it. It's simply not worth it. When monies were put into the Momo, now they want to tax Momo. When they use Momo to win elections. Momo was used to win elections. If you did not get some, don't say that it's not true. We, those who were on the field working, we know that some people 500 Ghana cedis, they just will show you that, oh, I don't even know what I've done and I've been able to get this 500 cedis. I only went and wrote my name, and my name has come. And you ask them what they're going to do with it, and they don't know. Kwame, the situation is not good for the country. And I would advise, first and foremost, that the government need to accept that they've not accepted that things are bad. and that really they need assistance. But they seem not to accept that it is they who have made it that bad, and that we need a new direction. And that if we need a new direction, then we should all come back and sit down. And talk about the new direction that we need to go. How do we manage our expenditure in the light of this current global situation that we find ourselves, where the global supply of oil is less than the demand, and so the prices automatically will go up? How do we sit down and manage the situation? Which parts of the expenditure can we cut? And which parts of the expenditure can we hold? What should we borrow? Sometimes I find myself in a situation where I sit down and ask, but do we sit down and analyze things as if these loans that we are taking will pay at all? Or is it because we might not be paying it, it's our children, or the government in power might not be paying it? Because that is what has happened over the years. Reprofiling of loans. A nice word will come out, which means that loans that are maturing today will not be paid for today. Some of them, they're able to arrange the people who accept a bigger percentage, and then it is paid later. Who is the later? The CPP government or the NDC government? And that is why the loans have piled up. So please, let us look at these aspects. I don't know, honestly speaking, we need to look at the taxes. As for that one, it is within our listing to look at the taxes. Because I'm saying this because when the price of, whether we get 5%, we get 10% of the oil, when the prices are also going up like this, as an oil exporting country, we also benefit. So if we are going to benefit, then part of the benefit should come to our people. And we cannot just bring money and come and put in the people's pocket. No, because we have a problem. And that is the budget deficit that we are running. What we need to do is to look at the taxes, get some of them out, and that will act as, even if it's a temporary cushioning, whilst we wait to see whether the export prices will stabilize or will come down. Let's do it to save our people from all the trouble that currently we find ourselves. Nothing is going for us. The city is plummeting down. It's just moving down. I mean, every other day, and even currently, I understand that that is not a situation that it could have been worse than that. It could have been worse than that, and it's going to actually be worse than that. No statutory funds are being paid. The District Assembly Common Fund is not being paid, so we don't have decentralized authority working. We don't have the District Assemblies working, doing any project. I'm talking of the landmass, the geographical landmass. I'm not talking of the population. I'm talking of the geographical landmass. You should just look at the map. You should just look at the map, the world map. I'm not talking of the population. I'm talking of the geographical size.
Yeah.
So just look at the world map, move it to Alaska, it's bordering with Canada. It's bordering with Canada at that corner over there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Including Siberia.
Go ahead.
So I'm talking of geographical land size and not the population. With the population, they are not more than Africa. But with the geographical land size, it's a very, very big country. Yeah.
Yeah, so continue and round up. Let me
Let
me move to Yidemambo.
Yes. So we should the currency is also going down, and that further will also increase the price, because you know that this oil is always priced in dollars, and we only convert it into cedis for our payments. We are not like some of these countries that has got some stock, like the Americans, etc., that are now bringing in their own stock to assist their citizens. So we don't have any other way. The government should sit down with us and let us work out, the way forward so far as this taxes on petroleum are concerned. And I believe that probably we all have to work hard that this war between the Russians and Ukrainians come.
How are you going to work hard towards
Africa has got a role to play. You see, instead of sitting down and condemning one side or the other, African diplomacy works. We should remember that we are expected to be a little bit neutral. You see, we're all part of the non-aligned movement that Kwame Nkrumah and co established. It helped us. Just issuing statements and condemning one side is not the solution. The solution lies in us being neutral and playing our diplomatic card very, very well. Remember that we have got a lot of countries in Africa. So our voting power, even though Russia is big, but they only have one vote. Just like Africa, where we have got more than 50 countries. And so our influence at the UN and other international bodies is quite substantial. Yes. And so we should be trying to influence the international world. We should be trying to be good diplomats and work our way out to ensure that this war probably ends as soon as it's practicable. Remember, the influence is not only on Russia. There is the need for us to also influence the Western countries, America, etc., who have got bases even in Ghana here, who have got bases in other countries. Now, such policies, if they want to send it to everywhere, will not work. And that is what is causing some of these problems that we have.
All right. Thank you very much. Yidemambo.
Yes, hike in fuel prices. Well, in fact, I'll take a cue from Doc when he said that, yes, when the price rises, we also as a country, we benefit. Though we don't have much, maybe the 16 or under 20% that we're also benefiting, it's also a benefit. So we in the CPP somehow think that this benefit should be used to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. Now, what we are practicing in this country is what we call the royalty tax system. We are getting peanuts from it. Since 2008, in the CPP manifesto, we have been advocating for a production sharing formula, which my sister mentioned, Botswana, that is what they use. Venezuela, Argentina, and other countries. That is how they are able to get more than 40% of their oil. Unlike our system, where we are always getting only royalties and taxes, which is amounting to about less than 20%. So, Kwame, we have a long way to go. In fact, those who want to do this kind of arrangement when we found oil should be charged for causing financial loss to the state. Seriously. Other countries have done it through this formula. They've gotten a lot of money from the production sharing formula, but we say no, we want to go for taxes and royalties, or what later they call the hybrid system. It has not helped us. That is why we are all crying that what we are getting from our oil, even in general in our natural resources, is very meager. Now, Kwame, I saw a comparative price analysis from COPEC in the sub-region, West Africa. In the whole of West Africa, Ghana, we are number 2, as in the highest price country when it comes to oil. Mali is first and we are second. I never understood that kind of chart. I told myself, at least we are producing some quantum of oil here. Our neighbors, Togo, Benin, and all those countries, they don't never produce any iota of even 1 liter of oil. But how come their prices are then cheaper than Ghana? Then you come to the realization that no, it is our policies. It is our tax systems that we've placed on this product called petroleum products. We have about 7 taxes. Kwame, which we can look at. And as Doc said, we can do some kind of cushioning in there. Now, we talk about Tor. When Tor was being created, then even though Nkrumah and the CPP government knew there were oil finds in Ghana, but it was not being exploited. They knew, but they created Tor because they knew our neighbors, Nigeria, for example, had a lot of oil then. But if not anything at all, we can be refining Nigeria's oil. Because as at then, they had no refinery, but we had one. Fast forward, it got to a time where Tor was down. We paid for a lot of recovery debts for Tor. So we are expecting that by now, Tor should be on its feet, refining oil. And from mind you, our oil find is one of the best in the world. It's called sweet crude. One of the finest in the world. And I don't know why and how we cannot refine this oil here in Ghana. We have a very sophisticated machine lying down at Tor called the RFCC, Residual Fluid Catalytic Cracker. It is lying there, doing nothing. It is a shame that previous government, and as my sister said, you can't blame it squarely on only one government since '92. That is why we will still blame the NDC and the NPP for this shameful act. That for so many years, such a vital, asset, national asset, has not been put to good use. It has now turned into a reservoir where we store crude. Mind you, our fuel prices are also rising because of the activities of the BDCs. Who are the BDCs? They are bulk distribution companies. They are bringing in the fuel. And Kwame, they are businessmen. They will maximize their profits. That is why we say that, look, this is an essential area or department where the state should lead. And the state leading is by ensuring that GNPC and Tor are strong enough to bring in the product. When they bring it in, they will not be maximizing profit like what the BDCs are doing. We've said this since 2008 in our manifestos, making noise and drumming it. But it's falling on deaf ears. The NDC and the NPP have decided not to listen. But this is a reality, that the BDCs are in to make money. So as a state, you have to come in there to discriminate, to favor your populace. But our governments have failed in that regard. So Kwame, we are not surprised with what is happening. And we know the prices are still going to balloon. The economists tell us something, that prices are sticky downwards, meaning that when they go up, it's very difficult for it to come down. You see it coming down in pesos, but when it's going down, it jumps, it balloons. But coming down is always a problem. So for us, there's a long way for us to go. First and foremost, how do we then renegotiate all these deals? And it's going to take a serious analysis and a serious legal framework for us to look at this. Because my sister said, when you jump into it, there will be a lot of judgment debts surrounding our necks. But let's look at it. Let's call those who are also investing in this field. Let's sit down with them and let's have a genuine conversation with them. That what we are gaining is not enough. And we need to get more from our natural resources. So Kwame, for us in the Convention People's Party, we want the government to do more. Those 7 taxes, so many of them sanitation, road fund, and other things. Yes, some of them are very vital, but let's look at the components and see the ones that we can take off. As before alluded to, when the prices are going up, we Ghana too, we are benefiting. So let's use that as a windfall income to cushion the populace. That is the only way to go. Because as it stands, there are projections that in the next few months we are heading towards 10 to 12 cities. What's going to happen? If there's no cushioning, then we are all doomed, Kwame. We are doomed. So Kwame, for us, it's a very scary situation, and we believe that government should put its ass together, try and see the possible means which they can come out with some solutions to this. If not so, when there's an increment in fuel, it affects all the other sectors. And this is something we should all worry about, despite your political color.
Beautiful submission. Well, before we get out of here, there's something I see which is kind of interesting. Madam Ellen Amadou, as the incoming women's organizer of the MPP, are you going to break the 8? And how do you intend to do that?
You expect me to sit here and give out
strategy? I just asked the basic, are you breaking the 8?
For the breaking, yes.
Oh,
we are
really?
going to try everything legally and humanly possible to
break the 8?
Yes, because sometimes if you don't qualify it, somebody might misinterpret to say that you want to do something that
that
one will be determined by the now incoming what do we call them? Delegates. So that is for next year, God willing. As it is now, we are trying to put the party in a good stead to carry whoever is the presidential candidate to break the 8. So as for the breaking the 8,
you are going to break it.
We will do everything possible, especially when I win. Then
when you win,
when I win, then the other political parties should get ready, because
that's right.
We shall go.
We call it ground for ground, boot for boot.
So that one, even if I don't win, I will definitely support whoever wins.
But the point is
make
that
sure that we do break the 8, because it is in my my benefit and to my interest that the NPP
but the party
continues.
But I mean, somebody told me something. I'm not supposed to say it on there, but somebody told me something that your party hasn't treated you so kindly.
Hasn't treated.
So why are you still supporting the party?
Hasn't treated who?
You kindly.
Ellen, I'm
I heard. If it's wrong, then I'm wrong.
He's not the person that is lying. I am the way I am. If the party hasn't treated me kindly, I will not be. I mean, the grounds will not be open for me to vie for a position.
Now, in terms of political appointment, for instance, I'm told, you see, I'm not looking into your eyes, but if I look into your eyes, you scare me. In terms of appointment, I was told that you were supposed to go to PMMC, and then before you knew it,
you were told.
I was told.
Hey. You know things, so
I mean
that I'm sitting here, I don't know.
You don't know. So are you telling me that you were never contacted?
No.
Nobody spoke to you?
No.
Nobody approached you?
No.
So it means I have more information than you.
I mean, if you are in a political party,
which is what, do you know what? Let me tell you,
that's what.
Do you know what I'm supporting you?
Oh, let me talk my talk.
Do you know I'm supporting you? It's because I feel like you have what it takes. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? Young, beautiful, energetic, brisk, endearing lady.
So
articulate.
So it is excellent, at least.
So women's organizer,
to your information, it was good that you heard that at least my name is being mentioned somewhere at places. It is good. I mean, if you're a young person in a party and nobody's recognizing
I've never asked you before
for what you are doing. So for me, it's good. Whether I got it or I didn't get it, for the simple mere fact that my name is being mentioned somewhere, I think it's an excellent thing.
Let me greet a few.
Before we go.
Yeah.
Or before I finish.
No, you are not done. Okay.
No, I want to chip in two things before they come.
Okay, all right.
This weekend, we've lost so many people to accidents.
Yeah, some more.
And it's like, as a nation, we are not bothered. I don't know if that's how I say it. It's like we are not talking enough about it.
It's part of the statistics.
Every single weekend, we are either losing people on the Kumasi, Accra Road, Cape Coast, Accra, or somewhere in the Volta region. This weekend, it was, I think, the Kumasi and then the Volta region. Yeah. I don't know what is happening, but the levels at which we are losing people, it is more than COVID. How many people have died of COVID? My condolences to everybody who has lost somebody out of COVID.
All right.
But when you compare that to the number of people, we are just, how many? The third month of the year.
Yeah.
And we are inching over 1,000 people dying from road accidents. That is terrible. Then the last one. Ghana, this Geological Survey Authority just said, is it in the Daily Graphic, that
flat
the wager range.
Yeah. I heard it this morning.
Because I live in Kaswa.
That is weak. It's weak now.
I know what we go through when it rains.
It's weak.
After the toll booth, there's no way you can cross. We've been saying this for the past 10, 15 years. We are waiting for the whole thing to come down.
Yes. You don't know. But you don't know they are waiting.
Wow.
You don't know they are waiting.
But that's
that's what they always do.
We always
have come out.
Reaction.
Yeah. Reactive.
We are very reactive.
It's very bad.
But Ellen, they are waiting for the thing to happen. Then they will bring that money, kind of do people. Hey, they are doing work. Hey, Ghana.
Jokes. The people who are building, they are still building.
Yes.
What are we doing to stop them from building?
But people actually, look, Ellen, my area is a low-lying area. So it's a waterlogged area. Dr. Nawani, there's a parcel of land that is a complete water. Also, water on the and then they have some particular weed. Ellen, they are failing and they are tons as well. I'm telling you, just on transition, we are going to Boshe. That stretch. Go and check. Oh, just go and check. Go and check. Oh, listen, go and check. Go and check.
But that area was used for the
farming. Oh, I said go and check. Go and check. Right now, you'll be shocked. Go and check. This is your country. Damn it. There's a road that they're constructing. I said this yesterday. There is a road that they're constructing. Aha, this is a perfect example. So this is the road. Somebody has built here. So the road cannot carry. Master, they have just marked it and it's been there for like 6 months now.
So now they want to circumvent there.
I don't know how they're going to do it because they brought. This country, sometimes you wonder how people think. Whether they think with their brains or they think with their. Anyway, Dr. Nawani.
Yes.
Breaking the 8 briefly and then we run away.
Everybody can dream. I mean, everybody can dream.
But when you dream big.
And you can dream big. Yeah. In Ghana, I believe that it will come to that time. But honestly, with the performance of this particular government, and with what we are seeing now, the way they are managing the economy, if you look at every, in the indices that we have, you realize that things did not go very well. Look at how the city is going down. I don't know whether this time, but we will say that he probably wanted to give the key to I don't know. He said he'll give it to the Inspector General of Police, yes. But he shall give it probably to the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces. Probably it would have been better, you know, with the way it is going and with the way that the whole economy is in shambles. And we need a new government. Actually, Ghanaians need a new direction. Mahama did that in 2016. When things were getting bad, he accepted the prescriptions that would stabilize the economy. He accepted the prescriptions that will stabilize the economy so that he will give a good economy to anyone who was coming. And that is exactly what happened. When he did not get a chance to come, and MPP came, actually the next year, 2017, they grew the economy by 8.3. And that's because they inherited a very good economy as per the prescriptions that was carried out in 2016. Now we are in we are now moving towards 2024. Things are bad. I'm advising this government to take all the necessary measures to stabilize the economy, so that the next government that comes will not suffer the way they are suffering now. That's my only advice. If they continue on that, they are spending spree, where they hire jets, etc., to move about and accumulate debts. And they ask us to cut our coat according to our size. And they are wearing bowler shirts and bowler coats around and spending the money the way they just want to spend it. In 2024 or 2025, any government that comes, I'm telling you, is going to have, the situation is going to be so bad like it happened in Argentina or Brazil, where, in fact, they couldn't practically do anything. At one time, Brazil was not even refused to pay its debt, etc. We want to go in that direction. So, and that decision has to be taken now. Say that they fix the economy. 8 years, being there 8 years, being there 16 years, it doesn't matter. What matters most is your contribution to the development of the country. The uncompleted projects is what. The uncompleted projects is what this government should concentrate, finishing them, instead of starting new projects altogether and accumulating further depths. You have got money to complete certain projects. Some monies have been approved in the past to finish certain road projects, certain hospitals, and schools. Take that money and complete them, and let us all get a credit instead of borrowing new ones and increasing the national debt.
Thank you. I'm just seeing something here, and I am completely taken aback by this. Charlie, the dollar this morning. Hey, the dollar.
Yes.
The thing go hit like 10. Pounds be like 10.5.
No.
And then the dollar be 7.90.
That is. They say that is even. That is just because
the euro is 8.40.
The central bank is always interfering with it.
I see. Well, you remember, let's end with you. They
organize some form of sitting down. Some form of auction, but not the open market auction type.
Well, breaking the 8 for where I sit, it's a very, 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 very Herculean, if not impossible, task. Well, all the parameters so far doesn't point to that effect that they can. I would take a clue from what happened in 2020 elections. That was the first time where a government in its first term had very stiff opposition and losing almost all their seats, almost all their vital seats, from 169 to 137. And I think that was a wake-up call to them. Because normally, in your first term, you normally give some few gaps, even gain more seats. But in their case, they lost a lot. So for me, it was a wake-up call to them that even in 2020, in fact, they just had a narrow escape. So in 2024, it's not going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. So my sister Ellen, incoming national organizer, women organizer, and I hope she wins. You have a Herculean tax ahead of you. Somehow, I feel the tax is impossible. For you to be able to break this 8. Okay. Now, Kwame, what's going to happen in 2024 is that within them, they themselves, the NPP, the apathy level is going to be very great.
Especially when 40,000 and 50,000 Ghana cedis is being given to some people.
Seriously. Because we have also been following their elections. The apathy, they'll try to patch up after their elections. But I can bet you, some of them will be refused. Though some of the agents and other party members will refuse the reconciliation. Because of what has been done to them.
What if Comrade Japan comes back?
It doesn't matter who comes back. It doesn't even matter who is on their ticket. The damage has been done. And in correcting the damage is very difficult. And I don't see how they can repair it before the 2024 elections. Right. So we are appealing to Ghanaians. Now we have a choice to make. We've seen the NDC and the NPP over the years. And now the appeal is simple. And we need a revolution, not with guns and cutlass, a revolution of the mind. Where we are saying that enough of NPP and the NDC. We need a total rejection of those two parties. And we are appealing to Ghanaians. The only alternative left to save Mother Ghana is a convention People's Party.
Thank you very much. And are the calls still coming?
Oh, why not? They have stopped. Even the messages you asked for. It came.
People are sending messages.
In fact, so we're a guy. Viewers, forgive me, I couldn't pick the calls. Yeah. So after the show, I'll make sure I record each and every call.
Elena Madeko, incoming women's organizer for the NPP. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Dr. Mark Ketnawani, thank you. Yirimambo. You gave me a very daunting task this morning. Let's see how it goes.
It's work.
If internally you're able to do your things right,
why not?
Some of us would love to join the CPP.
You will have to.
Thank you very much.
Be a member.
All right. Hey, Elena.
The lioness are going to hear you.
The lioness on Johnny.
What
Jenny?
Which one?
The people of the idiot. Lioness.
Look at a daughter of an elephant like me. Going up to Mama Elephant. You're telling me you have to join.
You call yourself a lion. How can you call yourself?
Thank you very much. Thank you guys for your time. Thank you to the viewers. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.